Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Parasyte, aka Kiseijuu, episode 15. Alright. And, and this one started off with that PI, Kuramori. Alright, he sent one of his friends after Parasyte. Alright, but this dude didn't know what he was getting into. So he ended up getting taken. Well, I mean, I'm sure he had some idea, but he thought he knew. That's what I'm trying to say. He thought he knew, but he didn't really know. Alright. And he ended up getting taken out. At least I would assume so. Alright, by Miki. Alright, with a K, not a G. Alright. But the PI ends up finding Shinichi and getting him to go down with him so that he can investigate and try and find his boy. Alright, but instead, one of the mayor's guy shows up instead with a date who is actually his lunch. Alright, and Shinichi tries to save her. He tries to. Gotta give him credit. He at least, well, he didn't get physically involved. He just said stop, and that was it. All right, like, I mean, he did a little bit more than that, but I'm saying he just watched as she got cut down. That's what I'm saying. All right, and after that, he did beat the guy though, which was impressive. All right, it was impressive. Got to give him credit for that. And I'm actually kind of curious as to what they did with the corpses. Did they just leave them there and and get out? Like, I'm curious as to what they did with the corpses. But anyway, the major thing to come out of this is that parking garage was one of the mayor's safe zones, I guess, where the parasites can go to eat. One of their feeding grounds. Alright, and because Shinichi took out one of his boys on the feeding grounds, Shinichi essentially made himself an enemy to the mayor and his entire group. Okay, so even Tamiya Ryoko had to just say, alright, fine, kill him. I don't want you to, but he could be useful to my research, but fine, I understand. He has to die. So at least just give me his corpse so I can dissect him. And at least give me that much. Alright, so they're coming after him. Alright, and Shinichi and Miki, they're actually aware of this. Shinichi tried to get Kuramori to get into contact with Detective Hirama. Alright, who what I believe was that detective from episode 12, who was looking at Shinichi as he was leaving Kana's school. I think that was him. But anyway, Shinichi tried to get the PI to go talk to him and give him all the evidence that he has and all that, but he said no, which after all the crap this dude gave Shinichi last week, now he wants out. Alright. I knew he was gonna pull that. I knew he was gonna do that. Man, I called that last week. I said, if this guy was in the same position as Shinichi, he wouldn't want to do any of the stuff he's saying. Alright, now he's not even in the same position as Shinichi, and he's still walking out. Alright, but anyway, this dude ends up saying that he's going to destroy all the evidence he has, which I wouldn't be too confident that's going to happen. For this guy, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what the purpose of introducing this guy into the story is. I don't think that Parasyte is the type of series that would introduce a character for no reason other than to make something interesting for a few episodes and then completely forget about them. I think this guy has to have a purpose of some sort, and it's going to be with that evidence of his. That evidence is going to end up screwing Shinichi over in some way, shape, or form. He's going to go talk to somebody, and that's going to get them interested in what's going on. So this guy has got to do something to make himself relevant to the plot. Just working with Tamiya Ryoko was not enough. If they really wanted to, they could have written her in a way where she found out all that information on her own. Just like she found out that his mother was killed. All she did was talk it out, and she ended up finding out everything. Alright, not everything, but everything about his mom. Alright, so, I mean, he has to have some other use, and it will probably be with that evidence. Yeah, so after that, Shinichi, he doesn't give up. After that, he decides that he still wants to fight back against the mayor and everyone in his group. And as it was interesting, as we saw him thinking about this at the school, he ended up running into Murano and Akiho and Yuko, And Murano looked like she wanted to forgive him. She wanted to make things go back to normal. Not really normal. I mean, like, normal as far as Shinichi being more parasitic than human goes. Like, just I'll just say normal. I'll just say normal. Not normal as in episode 1 Shinichi, episode 2 Shinichi. I'm not talking about that normal. I'm talking about like as soon as he changed, where he was trying to pretend that everything was still good. That type of normal. She wants to at least try, but at the same time she pulls her hand away because she's like, she just can't do it. Which, I mean, I'm still thinking that they're done. They tried to give us a little bit of hope later on. Murano ends up seeing Shinichi leaving the school later, and he ends up telling her, "Don't worry, I'll keep you safe." And she ends up remembering that he said something similar back when Shimada was attacking the school and all that. So she may have linked those two situations together, and she may entertain the possibility that Shinichi is trying to figure out who is responsible for that happening and trying to like trying to play cop himself instead of letting the police do their jobs, like trying to be a vigilante, trying to be Batman. All right, and she might be. I mean, it's a stretch. That is a stretch. Just because he said some words that were similar, you're gonna think like that. That's a giant stretch. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's a possibility. It's a possibility that she would entertain the possibility. All right, but I'm still they're still probably done. All right, but Shinichi, as far as keeping her safe thing, what he wants to do is create a world where both her and his father can just live in peace, which makes me think that one of them is going to die. At least one of them, maybe even both of them, is going to die. Which I already predicted that Murano is going to die, but maybe his father will die too, because these parasites. If let's say Miki fails, which he probably will, all right. I think I saw that old man who's in the group. I think I saw him in the opening. After there's this scene where you have Shinichi back to back with Shimada, and then after that it's Shinichi back to back with an older guy. I think that might be the guy who's a part of the mayor's group. So maybe he'll fight Shinichi after that, and we're definitely going to see Shinichi go up against the dude, you know, the Speedo wearing, piano playing Parasyte, that dude. Alright, we're definitely going to see that at some point. But I think that as Shinichi proves himself to be a greater threat, they will decide, you know what? Let's get an advantage over him by going after the people he cares about, you know, going after the people who are closest to him. I think at that point they will target Murano and his father. And Miki, not Miki, Miki brought these names, man. I swear. Miki brought up the possibility that his father would die if Shinichi became too big of a threat to these guys and like went to the police and stuff like that. So it's definitely possible. If Miki brought it up, then that means it's definitely possible. All right. But anyway, Miki ends up targeting Shinichi while he's at school. So he leaves, which is when he runs into Murano, I talked about already, right? But he leaves, and he tries to come up with a strategy, because there are 3 of them, and he can't take them all at once, so they come up with a strategy to try and split them up and take them on one-on-one. Alright. But Miki ends up going to sleep. Alright. So Shinichi has to fend for himself. So Shinichi got in a vehicle, drove away. Miki caught up, got in another vehicle, drove away. Miki caught up again. All right, and then after that, that's when Miki actually wakes up, and then they prepare to fight Miki. All right, it's these names, man. I should just call them K and G. All right. Anyway, we end up finding out at the end of the episode that Miki, has 3 parasites inside of him instead of just 1, which is crazy. Because we learned a while ago that Tami Ryoko is special because she's got like not two parasites inside of her, but it's like she's got two separation patterns or something like that, you know. Um, but yeah, we learned that about her early on. But this is something we just haven't seen before. One person inhabited by multiple parasites. We've entertained the possibility back in like episode 2 when the one guy cut his own arm off and said, "Here, you come to me. We'll be stronger this way." And Miki said, "No, I don't even know if that'll work." Migi, Miget, no, never mind. I'll just never mind. These names, I swear. Um, Anyway, we've entertained the possibility, but it's never been confirmed to be possible until now. We've confirmed that you can switch bodies, but we've now confirmed that you can have multiple parasites in one body as well. Which actually makes it interesting, because Migi back then said that the only reason he said no was because he wasn't sure if it would work. But now he knows that both work. Transferring over can work, as long as the host doesn't reject you, but it's... So, the only way that we know for sure why a body would reject a parasite is if it's a different gender than the original body or the original host. However, that we don't know if that's the only criterion, you know. But whatever. There's a possibility that Migi will betray Shinichi. That's what I'm saying. There's a possibility for that. But that's like down the line. Right now, the big focus is on Miki. All right, and you know, there's one parasite each arm, and there's a third somewhere, but I don't know where the third is. I was thinking maybe on the neck, like Uda. At one point I thought maybe it's the stomach, like back area, but then I thought, no, that doesn't make sense, because as soon as he unravels, then his upper half would just like fall over and collapse. Unless anime physics kicks in, and then he just floats there as his body is torn to shreds willingly. But then again, it's, you know, this guy, Miki, we saw at the beginning of the episode that he eats humans willingly. We didn't actually see him eating, but he was luring somebody into that area to actually eat them. You know, so then he took out the PI's buddy, his partner, and probably ate him too. So there's that. Plus, he sensed Migi's signal when he got out of the taxi, and he started talking to Shinichi and saying, you know, your right hand signal is pretty weak. So of course, that's an assumption as well, that that it was that was Miki himself who sensed the signal. It's possible one of the parasites told him that, but I don't see when they would have at the time to tell him that, since if the taxi driver heard the dude's hands talking to him, he probably would have got out the car right away and just started running off. All right, so the chances are it was Miki himself who sensed the signal, right? So those two things, him sensing the signal and him eating humans willingly, means that it's likely that the last parasite actually did take over his brain. But he has that personality, you know? He actually has a personality. He's more expressive, as Shinichi put it, than a normal parasite. So that leads you to believe it's not his head that's taken over, you know? But plus he's slow and he's clumsy, so that also means that it's unlikely that his head was taken over. Maybe it was one of his legs, because if he's clumsy, then it might be that one of his legs was taken over by a parasite, because then he'd be off balance. One leg would essentially be stronger than the other, so maybe that's it. But then again, you still have this stuff with the eating humans and stuff. You know, it's impossible to tell. Right now, it really is. There's just so many things floating around that mean completely different things. It's just hard to tell right now. So I mean, I've thrown out a couple guesses out there, but that's the best I can do right now because we just don't have enough information. But I am looking forward to the next episode, though. I will be very interested to see how Shinichi and Migi get out of this. They can't fight one-on-one at this point. it's 3-in-1 on one right now, and that's not good for them. So I'm interested to see how they get out of this. I think we saw. I actually think in the preview they showed the Detective Harama. I'm pretty sure they showed him in the preview for the next episode, so that'll be interesting too. Maybe Shinichi will go to him himself, or maybe the PI actually went to him afterwards. After all, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode. But as for this one, I will give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty good episode, and that's that, you guys. I was pretty busy today with schoolwork, so I didn't have any time at all really to work on my Best of 2014 video. But I will say, I said this in my World Trigger and Shokugeki no Soma videos as well that I posted yesterday. But it's the editing. I underestimated the amount of time necessary to do the editing. But I've put so much time into it at this point that it's definitely going up at some point. It's just a matter of when, right? So don't think I've just forgotten about it. It is going to go up eventually. It's just a matter of when. But yeah, that's that, you guys. The video will be up soon, and as for this one, this episode gets an 8 out of 10, and that's that. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.